Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, and welcome to the Health Exchange. I really appreciate everyone taking time out of your Saturday to attend this informative Zoom webinar that we do once a month, usually the third Saturday of every month. And today I am extremely excited because we are talking with a health professional, and many people hear the term gut health, but they really don't know what gut health means. But today, I think you'll come away with a better understanding as she's going to simplify it, that hopefully you will be able to integrate and incorporate what she says into your life. But my name is Troy Richardson. I'm a United States Air Force veteran, and I own a health and wellness organization that's dedicated to helping servicemen and servicewomen. For many people who don't know, 18 to 22 veterans and military take their lives every day. So that is my focus, the veteran community, but I work with communities across the country, as many of my partners do. And we do that very proudly, that we call it Inspiring Healthy. So with no further ado, I want to get right to her and respect her time, because she does have a house full that is waiting to get her back. So we want to respect that. But I want a young lady who I have a whole lot of respect for to introduce our special guest today. So Gay Russell, welcome to the call, and please introduce our very special guest.
Okay, my name is Gay Russell, and I'm from the Chicago area. We have lots of snow here, and it's beautiful white. And, and there's a little piece of, remember, the beautiful white that I'll share with you at the very end about Holly Dudley.
Hey, Gay, can you speak a little louder? I'm sorry.
I forgot to plug in my earphone. Oh, these basic little things of light, you know? Got the earphone plugged in. So anyway, my name is Gay Russell, and I'm from the Chicago area. And I have the privilege of being able to introduce Holly Dudley to you. Holly Dudley has passion just all over what she does and how she shares with others. And she's got this calm voice that just that takes you along with you, and takes you along in the discovery of her information that she has to share. We all know the importance of gut health. We keep hearing about it, but I know in my practice that every child with special needs has gut issues. And when I say every, there's not ever a time that I don't hear that there's some gut issues. So it's either constipation or it's diarrhea. And so, Holly will be explaining a lot of that. So her basic premise is just a passion for creating good health. She is a biodynamic cranial sacral therapist, a digestive health practitioner, and she supports health conscious communities through her writing and speaking. As a graduate of the Food Enzyme Institute of Madison, Wisconsin, Holly focuses on the importance of enzymes and the rich foods in our diet to nourish all systems of our body. She is passionate about sharing the practical tools of self-care, nourishment to harness the healing forces within the body to grow and sustain good health. Holly lives with her husband, Stephen, in the Finger Lakes region in New York. It's that little area that has a lot of lakes, and it's beautiful, and is grateful to be surrounded by the beauty of nature. And right now she's surrounded by a lot of her family that is back with her. And one of the beautiful things to also know about her, a little special piece, is that if you've ever seen a wedding gown and looked at all the intricate details, that used to be just sort of a pastime of Holly's, to make that intimate, that detailed special day wedding gown. And so that just tells you a little bit about her importance of paying attention to every little piece that's in front of you. So Holly, take it away. Thank you all for being here.
You're so sweet.
Well,
Thank
yes.
you.
Thank you so much, Gay. But we're just going to start with a few questions, then we're going to let Holly do her thing. But Holly, I always like to let people know a little bit about the guest. So that being said, where did you grow up? We know you're in the Finger Lakes now, but where did you grow up? And what did good health look like to you growing up as a child?
Well, I grew up in a big Irish Italian family in Connecticut. It was actually a tribe. My grandparents had 50 grandchildren. So it was a
Wow.
lot of people. And it was really centered around the family kitchen. So I grew up with a lot of really good, healthy, delicious food. And so that was a big foundation for me. But
Wow.
when I was a girl, go ahead.
No, 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 go ahead. No.
When I was a girl, my mom was diagnosed with MS. So there was a lot of stress and worry in our household. And as a result, in spite of having good food, there were some issues for us that we had to negotiate.
Wow, that is amazing. I grew up in New York, so I had a lot of Irish, Italian friends, and my football coach was Italian. We used to always have dinners over his house, and I remember him like yesterday. That's how I learned how to cook lasagna from his wife, Mrs. Davis. So remember like it was yesterday. So I know what I have a little relation into what you did growing up. So that's special. Now, what influenced you to go into the medical health field?
So my mom was a very dynamic and determined person. And as she was given this diagnosis of MS back in 1966, there were no resources for her. And she had 8 children to raise, and she wanted to be here for us. And so she was determined to do whatever she could to prolong her life and improve her health. And so she began a journey of doing that. And I had some pretty severe health issues. And so she basically said, we're going to get healthy together. And we started going to lectures and studying just some basic nutrition. And so that was the beginning for me.
Well, thank God. I mean, moms influence us so much as my mom has influenced my life. Um, and this organization that we're both a part of, this inspiring healthy living community, there's not too many products that we do offer. It is whole food plant nutrition. So the people want to know, what is Holly Dudley's go-to products?
Oh my gosh. I can't pick one, Troy.
Everybody says that, Holly. Give me
I,
two. Give me two.
I think the complete is really, really important because our body needs protein, but we get the message that our body needs protein and we focus on animal protein, but that's not necessarily the answer. We need plant proteins and we need plant fibers. Those are really, really important for the body. And I don't like to pick just two. The omegas are so important. They're important for the brain, the heart, the cardiovascular system, and especially important for the lymph system. So, but I want it all. I don't want to just focus on those two.
Well, don't let me limit you. And please, whoever has their phone device not muted, please mute yourself so we can hear our guest speaker. Thank you so much.
Hi, Marlo. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, Holly, we're going to just let you explain to all of us what gut health and digestive health practitioner really means. So please.
Okay. So before I became a natural health practitioner, what?
Good job.
We've got some
Yeah.
conversations going on.
Would people please mute when you get on? Thank you.
Hello.
Thank you, Colette.
So it was at the Food Enzyme Institute that I studied at, where I learned about the importance of enzymes. And learning about enzymes was what cracked the code for me in my healing process. So I'll just explain that enzymes are proteins that work in the body to get things done. So every physiological process in the body, every metabolic process relies on enzymes to do that work. And vitamins and minerals are actually coenzymes. So they work together in synergy. So that being said, our digestive system, let me just sort of go over that a little bit. So it starts at our mouth. It includes our mouth, our esophagus, our stomach, our small intestine, and down to our anus. So from mouth to anus is where our digestive system is. And the pancreas, the liver, and the kidneys, not the kidneys, the pancreas and the liver are part of that too. They're helpers. That's actually a closed system. Whatever's inside the digestive system is not yet inside the body. And what is the difference is that that system is lined with this barrier, this mucosal barrier. It's the first line of defense in the body. It will keep out whatever is harmful to the body. A healthy system will keep out what is harmful to the body. And so there is this incredible intelligence within the digestive system to assess what you've put in your mouth, what's gone into your gut, and it will decide what enzymes to call on, what organs to use to break down that food. The different parts of the stomach and the small intestines have different pH, so you break down foods differently depending on where they are broken down in the body. And so that line of defense, when it's not compromised, will make these decisions that you don't even have to think about. It just automatically happens. But that barrier is there to keep viruses out, to keep bacteria out, to keep foreign particles out of the system. Now, when that system is compromised, frequently called leaky gut, where that wall, that mucosal lining has been compromised, then undigested food particles and other things get into the bloodstream. And that's the root of a lot of issues for people, including all autoimmune issues. So if the digestive system is compromised, then the immune system is compromised. The whole system is compromised. The organs of elimination are compromised because everything has to work harder. So I always say, if you know enough about your digestive system to understand how it works and respect how it works, it will work for you. And so that's where the choices that we make, the things that we put on the end of our fork, really determine our health.
Okay, Holly. I mean, you just said a mouthful, no pun intended, with the fork. But what's the difference when it comes to gut health? When, let's just say, people are eating the fast foods, the wrong foods, versus the whole food plant nutrition? How is that gut? How is our gut letting us know like something's not right? How is that? Break that down for us.
Okay, so first of all, the foods that our body is designed to eat are foods from nature. So anything that's altered from its natural state is that one step further away from something that our body can easily handle. So our body knows what to do with plant foods. It knows what to do with foods from nature. Anything that's been altered from its natural state, depending on the degree to which it's been altered, makes it just that much more difficult for the body to digest it. So when you get processed foods that are deep fried, fast foods, those foods, even if they had their origin in, say, the potato, no longer carry, I like to think of foods as codes that the body can decode. So those foods are so altered from nature that it either takes a lot of energy for the body to break those down and utilize them, or it doesn't know what to do with them. It doesn't know what to do with synthetic foods. It doesn't know what to do with artificial sweeteners. So it's stressed out by those foods. So the more we can eat the foods that are close to nature, the plant foods that are nutrient dense, calorically nutrient dense, the healthier our body will be. So I like to live by the 80-20 rule. 80% healthy, 20% fun. So a lot of us have grown up, we do a lot of social things around food. You know, there's family gatherings, there's family recipes. We want to be able to have fun with food, enjoy the food, but we don't want to eat a birthday party diet. We don't want burgers, dogs, pop, and ice cream and cake to be the foods that we normally eat, or any derivative of those foods. You know, in small percentage, our body can handle that. But we really need to get plant foods into the body in order for the body to work well. And so if you're not doing that and you're putting a steady stream of those other denatured foods into the body, foods that are difficult to break down and utilize the nutrients from, that's how the body gets compromised. And also, alcohol, pharmaceuticals, coffee, tea, cigarettes, and stress, all of those things will take their toll on the digestive system and on that mucosal lining. So if you can minimize the impact of those things and maximize the impact of getting what I call a plant forward diet, then you will do okay.
80-20. I think some people out there just started really getting happy. Wow, 20%, is that high? Great. Okay, I'm going to get a Big Mac right now. Not me. I don't put that stuff in my temple. That's another thing. A lot of people, again, with phrases, gut health.
Yeah.
Growing up, I heard a lot of the fellas talk, my body is my temple. And then they're going drinking 40 ounce of beer and eating all that junk. But you mentioned alcohol, one thing. But Dr. Victor Payton says that kids, especially, they should eat their calories and not drink their calories. So when it comes to, you said the artificial colors, flavors, the sugars that's in the Kool-Aids and all these fancy packaged drinks that the kids are attracted to. Can you speak about that?
Water. People need to drink water. And those foods that are manufactured, you know, I like that quote from Michael Pollan, who says, if your food comes from a plant, if your food is a plant, eat it. If it's made in a plant, don't. You know, it's just your body doesn't know what to do with that. And so what does it do with it? It tucks it in a corner. It tucks it in a corner, some corner of the body, some bit of fat, or in some little pocket in your intestines. It's not going to be good for you in the end. And, you know, people get false energy from those foods. And so they feel energized, they feel this uplift, but it's a glycemic flush, you know, it's false. It's not real usable energy for repair of the body and for function of the body. So it's really, I don't consider that a food. There's either food or there's junk. There's no such thing as junk food. It's not food, it's junk. So it doesn't go in here. And I try to encourage people not to put it in their mouths either. So
I mean, I love that saying, if it's not made from a plant and it's made in a plant, what a distinction. That is powerful. I'm going to use that from this day forward for sure. Now, when it comes to red meats, a lot of people are like, I gave up red meat about 2 years ago, and I feel healthier. Um, what's your take on, the giving up different things? We have the vegans, we have people, there's all types of categories, and thank God people are looking to get healthier in some form or fashion. But what's your take on giving up like red meats and just eating fish or chicken? What's your take on the different meats and fishes?
I try not to mix politics with my conversation around food, but food is almost like a religion for people. And to get them, like everybody has their culture and their food. Um, well, a lot of people have their culture around them that determines the way that they eat. So, and people have different blood types and they have different um, uh, ethnicities. And so people's bodies work a little bit differently, even though we have the same organ systems. Some people might be more tolerant of foods than others. So I think the rule of thumb is to eat the foods that are the closest to nature, the healthiest foods possible, to start with plant foods. Those plant foods have finally made their way to the bottom of the food pyramid. Now that's exciting to me because the bottom is the biggest group. Eat the most plant foods that you can get into your body every day, and then add these other things. And make sure you eat raw foods every day, because raw foods, enzymes are only contained in raw food. So you need to get a little bit of raw plant food every single day in order to have that intake of enzymes, so you're not using up your enzyme stores in your body. Your body can only work so hard to produce the enzymes. And if you're eating denatured foods, or if you're overeating, if you're eating foods that use that up too quickly, then you suffer. So eat raw foods, start with plant foods, eat as many as you can, and then you add the other things, the protein. And so for some people, animal protein is their choice, but I've studied that you should never eat a piece that's bigger than what fits into the palm of your hand. That's the right ratio, and that you can actually get by with a lot less animal protein if you're an animal protein eater. But more and more I am leaning in the direction of I use the words plant forward, and just encourage people to be plant forward. And then it's a personal decision after that. So I try not to step on anybody's toes when recommending around animal products.
Well said, and I think you did a good job of staying inside the lines there, Holly. Great job, great job. You must have got your driver's license when you were 16 years old, I'm sure. Um, but let me ask you, we talked a little bit about your, I guess, two of your favorite products. We don't want to limit you. Can you talk a little bit about the complete product and those omegas and what they mean when they get into our bodies?
First of all, there is kind of an epidemic right now of people having gut issues, and it can be a full range of things. So it's not unusual for a large percent of the population to have what I call a compromised digestive system. What I love about Juice Plus and all of the products is that they can get past a compromised digestive system. They can get past that compromised system because they're so bioavailable. They are so accessible to the body. And so when you can get Juice Plus into the body, even if you have a compromised digestive system, which leads to a compromised immune system, you can you know, sometimes with people who are really not well, adding in these healthy products kind of stirs the pot a little bit, and they can have a little bit of a health crisis. But all you have to do is you don't quit, you just slow that down a little bit. So you can back off just a little and use a smaller amount and then build up to a bigger amount, because the more you get in there, the more your system can begin to come around and build some health within that system. So I don't like picking favorites, because when it comes to the mucosal lining of the gut, those fruit and veggie and berry blends that contain that full array of produce, it's got a lot of pectin in it. It's got a lot of raw material to rebuild that mucosal lining. So great. The complete has the protein. We need a lot of protein in our bodies, but we need it from plants more than anything else. And we need that fiber. We need those oils. We need those oils so much. We need them not just for our brain and our cardiovascular system, but we need them for our lymphatic system. And I think the lymphatic system is going to be something we see on the horizon that we will talk about more after people, you know, get their heads around looking at the digestive system in the gut. Because if your lymphatic system is congested, you will not be able to recover your health. Your garbage can is full. You got to empty it out. You got to get it out there. And so the lymphatics work with those oils for a smooth running system. And you also have to move your body to keep that system going. So I'm like a mother. I can't pick favorites when I'm talking about my kids. I'm not going to do that with Juice Plus.
Oh my, you had to throw the M word in here, right? I'm not going to mess with the mom thing, okay? I'm not going to go there. So, Holly, you are good. I'm just going to tell you like that. You are good. But you alluded to, we'll touch on that at another time. So I'm going to take that as that meaning you're going to come back in the future and we're going to touch on some other things. But listen, I really appreciate you. I don't know about others, but I learned a lot today that I know I can share with others and I can implement into my life. And that's what I wanted to get out of this. Some simple things that people could take action on immediately and make a difference in their overall health of themselves and their families and anyone else that they do care about. Now, how long have you been part of this Inspiring Healthy Living community?
8 years.
8 years.
Yeah.
So you've impacted a lot of people.
I have a few more things I'd like to share, a few more giveaways that I'd like people to take with them when they go.
Please.
Okay, so I shared the 80-20 rule with you.
Yes.
I shared that it's important to put the right food in your mouth.
Yes.
I think it's important for us to settle when we're eating, to pray, or at least bow our heads and be grateful for the food on our table. I think this is really important. It changes, and food gives us two things, basically. It gives us nourishment and it gives us energy. And so you want to look at your food and be grateful for it. And it enhances the energy of the food when you do that, believe it or not. And also it prepares the brain. The brain has to get turned on. And if you sit and put your hands over your plate and be grateful for your food and smell your food, it gets the brain turned on, which begins to send the salivary juices flowing in your mouth. So it's an important step. The next thing I would say is chew your food. Your mouth, your teeth, your tongue, your salivary glands are all there for a reason. So it's an important step. It gets the digestive process started. When you chew your food, you're mixing the saliva into the food. And so it starts to digest the food. It takes the stress off of the rest of your digestive system.
Unbelievable.
And so I think that's it. Yeah, so those are the other two things I wanted to share.
I mean, just thank you so much, Holly. So
You're welcome.
grateful to you. And I know coming up as a youngster, we couldn't eat until we prayed over our food. That was mandatory. And I do that with my kids as well. Matter of fact, one of my daughter's friends, my daughter comes home one day and she says one of her friends prays over everything she eats when she's in school. And I was like, I want to meet her. I want to meet that friend because that is amazing that she does that. But again, thank you so much, Holly. Really appreciate you taking time and sharing these valuable pieces of information with us today. You are the very best. Thank your family for me for lending you to us for a few minutes. And thank everyone for showing up and attending. If you please want to give me 1 second, I'm going to stop this recording.